Yo, what's up guys, and welcome to another video over on SoRare. And in today's video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover my £100 underdog team. As always, if you guys are interested in signing up SoRare, there is a referral link down below. Once winning 5 cards on the bidding market, you will win yourself a free tradable limited card. Don't overpay to get this free tradable limited card because it's only worth about £2 to £7. On top of that, you do have to be 18 to play SoRare because it is real life money and that money is there to be lost, as well as it is there to be made. And finally, if you guys are interested in watching me, I guess, do some investments or building teams live, I do this over on my Twitch from about 6:30, 7ish every day. So, what I've decided to do is finally apply all this knowledge I've been gaining over the last 3-4 weeks on Underdog and Specialist and go and build myself a little bit of a team. So the budget I've given myself is about £100 to £120. I didn't want to, heavily overpay because I prefer to spend my money investing and flipping cards rather than building SO5 teams, but it's a bit of fun nonetheless. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through the sort of requirements I was looking for in building a team, and then who I've gone and chosen. So all the players that I've gone and picked players that I was investing in anyway. That's because, well, the reason I'm investing in them is because they should perform well this weekend, which is why there should be demand for them. But there's also some other, I believe, quite clever requirements I've gone for. One is if the player has a good game, they're not going to exceed 45 L15, which means that, even if I can't shift them before the game, it shouldn't be the end of the world. On top of that, I could hold on to them for 2 weeks. Requirement number 2 is going to be that they have a favourable matchup. I don't want to play against someone who's playing against top, second, third, unless themselves are top or second as such. And requirement number 3, again, I wanted to give myself a bit of a budget and ideally use some of the best players, because then it's more interesting than using, a £20 team and having a very low chance. So without further ado, let's go and get underway with who I've chosen. So to start off, we've gone for the goalkeeper of Marafona. Now the reason we go with Marafona is because he is very likely to start next game. I mean, he is the main keeper. You can see right there, he's had 1 DMP out of the last ever. But yeah, we've got ourselves Marafona as the keeper. I say starting keeper. He's obviously got not too bad of a defence in front of him because this team are, I believe, 4th in the Turkish League. They're going to play 12th in the Turkish League, which are SoRare. Again, the average keeper plays pretty well against them. But one of the reasons this guy, I think, is a solid player for me to go and buy is because next week they play bottom of the league. Now, I don't plan on playing back-to-back game weeks. We'll have to see how it goes. But he should be so favourable against bottom of the league that, if I can't shift him in time, bear in mind, obviously, the goalkeeper is the the biggest part of the budget. If I can't shift him in time, well, he plays worst in the league, and unless he gets injured or something crazy like that, we're looking all good. Now, the price I've gone to pay for him was I went and bought him on a bid for £51. In theory, if I was a little bit better, I probably could have gone for about, 48 sort of price. But nonetheless, I'm not I'm not upset with 51. Obviously, he's come down from this weekend at 56, which is a bit interesting. The weekend before it was 57. I'd imagine that's because of the underdog requirements changing, and maybe this right here was when the underdog, when there was like 1 of 8 keepers, and now it's like 1 of 30 keepers. But yeah, I've gone and picked him. I thought he had the most favourable matchup out of all the goalkeepers who were £50 or below. Most favourable matchup X. The highest chance of starting, because there's quite a lot of goalkeepers that might have had a more favourable matchup, but they're like a 60% L5 or a 40% L5, and yeah, if I'm shifting out 50 quid, I don't want to go and buy someone who's not actually going to play. Now, I know this isn't really relevant, but I have no idea how on earth they've come to the average being £38. Bear in mind, we're looking in the last month, and there's like maybe 1 card that's sold on below £38, so I have no idea how on earth they've come to the average of 38. I presume it's just a glitch in the system. Second player that we're picking, and probably the player I'm going to captain, I'm not too sure about this, but we'll see what you guys say in the comments, is going to be Roman Evergev. Now, he's quite an expensive defender, and if I didn't pick him, I'd definitely be able to build this comfortably under 100. But I've gone and picked him, 110 I think it is with him. But yeah, we went and picked him up here for £30. Now, his scores at the moment, he has been on absolute fire. He's got himself an 82 and a 77 without any decisives. Now, the problem is that they do play against CSK. Now, CSK are 3rd in the league and they're 2nd in the league. But, yeah, so he's pulled in some really, really favourable scores. And the scores he pulled in against as well was against these who I believe are 9th and these who I believe are, I think they might be like 8th or 6th or something like that. But then again, he's pulled in good scores against Kransgård. I think Kransgård are 4th. So, yeah, we are going to go on a gamble that, you know, he's going to be, well, playing well and hopefully staying on form. The nice thing with him, L15's 41, which means, again, he can get another very high score, and he can still be under the L15 of 45, which means he's still eligible for Underdog, which is nice. But yeah, so we're going to go and pick him. I'm not sure if I'm going to captain him. If I did, you know, captain, he pulled in a 60, that's not the worst in the world. Obviously, an 82 of a captain would be a lot nicer. But yeah, we've got our defender of Roman Evergev, which again, he did play 2 lesser teams to get those scores. But so we'll probably gamble on that his form. I mean, I've looked at a few of the other defenders, and I think they're even less likely to get even a score of 60 than this guy is to get a score of 60. But there we go, we got ourselves Mr. Roman Evergev as our defender. So then move into midfielder. I've got a few midfielders I could go and select, but we're going with Ender Sekic. Now the reason we're going in with Ender Sekic is because, once again, he can have a good score and still be under 45. But yeah, what's quite nice about this guy is, now he is a little bit decisive dependent, but he is playing bottom of the league. Because they're playing bottom of the league, they've probably got a pretty decent chance of either getting a decent all-round or a decisive. Pulling in a 78 in the last game, and even all-rounds here are 40s. I mean, the teams they played against haven't been the strongest of teams, in all fairness. Fenerbahce, though, they did lose to. Still pulled in a score of 47. Then played K-Sport, which again, a 12. Pulled in a score of 64, obviously again, a decisive. So, yeah, he's had some decent decisive against some of the lesser teams in the Superliga. But we're going to pick him as our midfielder. There was a chance I was going to captain him because they are playing bottom of the league, but I think I'll leave it and just have him. If I wanted to treat myself, I really could to using the forward of Hadji, just because Hadji is on very good form, and again he's playing yet again another lesser team. But the problem with Hadji is that Hadji right now has a L15 of 45, and yeah, basically that L15 of 45 will definitely get exceeded next game, which means that he won't be eligible the following week. On top of that, I think he's going to do very well in price, and because he'll do very well in price, I do think that, yeah, I don't really think that I want to hold on to him past deadline. But obviously, extremely good decisive, but I'm not picking him, though. The player we are going to be going with is going to be Virgil Misajan. Now, the reason we're going with this guy is, again, I've looked at some of the forwards. He's got a 44, so he actually won't be eligible next week if he pulls in a decisive. But he does play against Sparta. Sparta are bottom of the Eredivisie. Now, this guy, the problem with him is he's not 100% favourable to start, but I believe their main striker is injured at the moment, so that's why I'm quite favourite upon him. But you can see right now that's 2 players in a row where they're playing bottom of the league. So, you know, we do believe they could do quite well. So I'm not sure if I'm going to captain him. I could captain him, because he does actually pull in 40 all-rounds and 50s, but again, there's a chance he does come on as a sub, and, you know, do you want to captain someone that might get benched or, you know, have to rely on being subbed on? You know, it's not the most favourable thing in the world. So I do believe the main striker is still injured, but so I'm not too sure about captaining. But again, nonetheless, I think he's got a decent chance to get the decisive. Again, they are playing bottom of the league, and you know, if not, hopefully I get a decent all-round and start. So then get to my sub, and there's a few players I could pick as a sub, because, you know, there's a few players who would fit the criteria pretty well. There's this guy, Lujabek, I thought about going for, but the problem is he's a bit decisive heavy. He gets subbed on. Every game he either gets subbed on or subbed off, which I didn't really fancy. Obviously, again, we could splash out and use Hadji. I've got this guy right here, Sinan Bakis. He does play a team that's better than them. They play Groningen. And again, I don't think he's 100% to play the full game, which is a bit of an annoyance. You then got Michael De Lowen. Again, they literally play against them. So he wouldn't be too bad, but again, the problem with him is after this game, he wouldn't be eligible for Underdog, which again would lose a lot of his value. We've got this guy who's a defender, although, yeah, again, he loses his 45, which is a bit of an annoyance. So what I've gone for at the moment, again, this could be subjective to change. I was tempted to maybe go with Manfred Gola. There is a chance, though, again, if he does get a good score, he won't be eligible next week, but he is a very cheap card, and I do have 21 of him, so, you know, it's not like we're in a hurry, but at the moment, I'm going with Baz Coupieres. I've gone and picked one up for £9. And yeah, the reason I'm going with Baz Coupieres is just because, again, he has very solid all-rounds. I was even tempted to captain him because of how decent his all-rounds have been. But I say he's been pulling in a 40 as of recently. They do play against Fortuna, who are 4th to bottom of the league. So again, I do think there's a decent chance he pulls in a clean sheet, if not even has a decent all-round. But that is going to be my last player. So my lineup is going to line up like goalkeeper. That is going to be Marfona. We're then going to go to the defence, and we're going to go with Roman Edganev. Again, thinking of captaining him. Then we go on to the midfielder, who is probably second to me, maybe captaining, and that is Kiki. We then move underway with the forward, who is Virgil Misajan. And then we move underway with our sub, which is going to be Baz Coupieres. But again, some of this might be subjective to change. So, as I say, it should be very, very interesting. What I'll do right now is I'll actually total up how much, because I've got every player at the moment, I'll total up how much this team cost me. So going through the prices right here, Marafona going to cost me £51. We then get to Roman Eganev, and he went and cost me £30, so far that's at £82. Then got ourselves Endir Sekic, and that cost me £12, so that takes us to £94. We then get to Virgil Misadaj, and he went and cost us another £11, which takes me to £106. I think I might have messed up with the maths already. And we got Baz Coupier, who we went and bought for £9, which takes us to £115. So just under £120 for the team. I'm sure if I was a little bit more savvy, maybe bought a little bit earlier, we could have got a lot closer to the, probably about 110 mark. I don't think that was that much skimming, apart from maybe on the goalkeeper, Baz Coupiers, and the centre mid. So do let me know what you guys think about maybe changing out a player or two. Again, we do have a very, very big gallery of players. It's just the problem I have is that I think a lot of these will lose value after deadline. And it's, you know, from a trading or money-making aspect, it's a bit hard. You know, obviously, the money you'll lose on the team could easily outweigh the reward. So if you do use better players, again, such as Hadji, again, if I wanted to treat myself and have an exciting weekend, I'd go Hadji, I'd go and captain Hadji, but I'm just too tight. I'm too tight, and I just know that Hadji's going to drop in price after that deadline because, again, I'm very confident on him having a good rise during the week. So that is going to be that. Again, this is my my selection of players we could go and use. If this does go well, and if we do get a decent prize, I actually might do Specialist and Underdog next week. And if this goes well, you can definitely expect Underdog next week. So I can assure you I'll probably be enjoying the living daylights out of it. But thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. I say it's really nice to finally, you know, I've been trading with these players for the last, well, about a month now. So I feel like I've got a really good understanding of who will hold value, who will lose value. You know, who's got a decent, I mean, obviously the gameplay, not really my strong side. Again, the Dynamo Moscow matchup might be something I do have to look into, maybe changing or at least not captaining him because, again, of the CSK. But yeah, as I say, the gameplay side isn't so much my strength. So if you do have any advice, do feel free to drop them down below, or anything I should, you know, be warned about, or, you know, maybe a striker has a less of a chance of starting or whatever. Do feel free to drop them down below. It is greatly appreciated. Any questions you guys do have as well for me, do feel free to drop them down below. But thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in another video tomorrow.